So here around us, I'm here at the Winchester, the main cemetery in Winchester. The name has escaped me actually. I've played a couple bagpipes for a couple of funerals here. But I'm in the midst of the Confederate section. And the reason I'm here isn't for any kind of particular reason related to the Civil War. I'm here because, as you can see around me, the monuments are very uniform. They're very likely all put in at the same time. There's sections dedicated to each different state in the Confederacy. And though I don't yet know when each of these sections was installed, I'm pretty confident I can choose one, take some measurements, and then find out from the cemetery office when the individual sections were put in. Probably funded largely by the Daughters of the Confederacy, and probably put in largely at the same time, like many of the monuments, probably late 1800s, early 20th century. My guess here is probably late 1800s. These would not have been put in just directly after the Civil War, more than likely. Although I may be wrong about that. So I look forward to finding out what I find out. I know this monument here, this very tall one, was erected in 1879. So that gives me some context. That's about the beginning of when monuments began to be erected to the Confederacy. Largely during the period after Reconstruction ended, and the federal government largely kind of let the South do its thing with regard to preserving its, dealing with its civil affairs, so to speak, beginning in Jim Crow and things like that. Now, of course, assuming that there are indeed remains here, the likely scenario is that they would have been buried here as close after the war as possible. So, but I don't know. I'll call the cemetery office and find out. So really what I need to do is choose a section. And I think what I'm going to do is choose the South Carolina section up here, just because it's close to my vehicle. And just focus on the stones that are the same as the others. So now part of the problem here too is that the stones aren't all standing straight up and down anymore. So our method of measuring them, we have to take that into account. So I'm going to try to find stones that are as straight up as possible. Of course, there's been a lot of soil movement over the years, and because of that, stones will become crooked. Freeze, thaw, another aspect of weathering. This time occurring on the soil itself. The soil, of course, being a weathering product, entirely, is going to act on the stones also to alter their arrangement. So this is the section for South Carolina. Right over here is Alabama, and then behind that Mississippi. To my left, Louisiana, Florida, and I'm not sure about this one right here. But anyway, the state doesn't really matter that much. I'm really just looking for a population of chunks of marble to measure weathering rates, and this looks like a pretty good place to start. I'm going to use the same technique I used at Winchester National Cemetery, just up the road from here, and measure a population of stones.